Hello, how are you? Let's go, buddy. The part that I did there at the beginning, never do that on the highway. Although I don't think I went over the speed limit. Well, that doesn't matter. I didn't signal. I was trying to race people. There are track nights for that. Wasn't fair anyway. That was just a Mazda 3. It wasn't a Mazda Speed 3. And that was just a Focus SE, not a Focus ST or a Focus RS, which would pretty much dust me. It should be noted that right after I got off the turnpike there, I went through the toll booth. I got what I deserved. My turbo pretty much blew. Welcome back to my, what seems to be a never-ending saga of the Quaife Limited Slip Differential. I know this is now part 3, but I noticed in my other videos I hadn't yet provided any statistical information to back up anything that I was saying. I was just basically going off what I felt about the car. Hey, it's great. Wow. But I wanted to provide some statistical information. That was the original parts that I had decided to do with this, and I have not yet done that. Here we go. This is the video with the statistical information, although not as detailed as Motor Trend or Road and Track would do. And now here I go through some 0 to 60 foot times. So I have before the limited slip and after. So anyway, here we go. Because it's winter and all the tracks are closed, I had to go somewhere else for my testing. So I use this abandoned movie theater parking lot where everyone takes their kids to teach them how to drive. And so I did most of my testing here. I just love that frowny face. It's so mean looking. I don't know why they got rid of it on the new Fiesta ST. But anyway, this is where I did my 0 to 60 foot testing right here. It's 6 parking spaces. They're all 10 foot wide. So that's my 60 foot. And you can tell it wasn't very technical because right here I have to get out of the car to see if I'm perfectly positioned at the starting line. There I am eyeing it up. It's better to have friends or laser guided starting points.
Run so as to win, my man. Run so as to win.
Here I am abusing my clutch and transmission so you don't have to do the same to your car. I did a number of runs just to get some good statistical information, and I made these runs at 4,000 RPMs, and I did them on my winter tires. On the day I did this original testing, there was like a 30-mile-per-hour tailwind, and it may have given me better results here than I thought. But you'll notice right here, it blew over my GoPro camera right there. And then I cut forward ahead because it took me forever to walk down and get it after it blew away. And there I am wondering if what I just bought is now ruined. And yes, this man is legend right there, making his way back to the car. Okay, now the legend returns with the limited slip differential installed. Everything is the same here except for the weather. You'll notice that it's wet here. If I waited for a dry day, I might never have got this video done because we have more rainy weather than Seattle in the Pittsburgh area for whatever reason. It's very ugly, and we have to wait forever for good weather. But everything else is the same. Same car, except for the limited slip. I have more camera angles here as I go through it, which is nice. Really shows off the car and everything. I had a number of passes just like I did previously, just trying to get the best information that I could. I think definitely when I was driving it felt a lot better. And again, I'm doing this on winter tires, and I'm doing it at 4,000 RPMs. Here's the best part. Just, you can leave go of the wheel at $4,000 and drop the clutch, and it just stays in position. And yes, this is what it feels like when you have the limited slip on there. So here's my average 0 to 60 foot times in seconds. First stock, it was on average about 2.6 seconds. With the limited slip differential installed, it was 2.46 seconds. Now, generally, you should probably get about 2.25 seconds for this time, but you have to remember, number one, I'm doing this on winter tires, and I'm not dropping the clutch at an ideal RPMs. I'm dropping the clutch at about $4,000, just trying to get the limited slip to engage. Generally, your launch is going to be at a much lower RPM. I didn't actually try to figure out what was the ideal launch, but I know that it's much higher now that I have the limited slip. But that gives you an idea of the improvement. Technically, that's from 2.6 to 2.46. That's a 5.43% increase. But that doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm pretty sure that a 0.14 drop in time in your 0 to 60 foot time was very much welcome. I should have mentioned previously that another factor limiting my times is the fact that I'm not a good driver and I'm old. But this statistic right here kind of gives you an idea of how well the limited slip differential does, because it's a measure of the standard deviation between stock and the limited slip. And you can see the limited slip differential's standard deviation is way better than stock. It's more than twice as good, which means you're about twice as much more consistent with it. And now we have the 0 to 60 mile per hour times. I only show two of them, one before the limited slip and one after. I did a whole bunch of other ones, but just to get the data, I didn't want to show this all over again because it's the same thing as the 0 to 60 foot times. It just takes longer. So I just show two. The first one I show, it's not even me in a straight line, but it shows what before the limited slip, what the car's like when it's trying to go. It kind of snakes to the right and to the left. That's why I included that one. And then the other one after is just me on the turnpike. Notice here again, the Quaife is much better than stock. It goes from 6.91 down to 6.64 in the 0 to 60 mile per hour times. That's only a 3.88% gain, not as much as the 60 foot times, which I would expect because there's less slipping as you get up in higher miles per hour, and so the Quaife Limited Slip has less effect on everything. I did not launch these at 4,000 RPMs. It was much lower than that, but much higher than it should be. Again, these times are way higher than they should be. you should probably get about 5.9 seconds. Again, I'm on winter tires. I think I can't wait to do this when I have my regular tires on here to see the difference. I'm sure it's going to make an amazing difference. Of course, I didn't do any quarter mile testing. I don't have a quarter mile that's straight enough where I can merge onto a highway. All the roads are pretty much turning around here. Again, no tracks are open. Based on calculators I found on the internet, you know the internet is always right. Based on the 60 foot times I had previously, it should work out to be a second difference. I don't think that's right. It would probably be closer to around a few tenths, I believe, faster with the Quaife Limited Slip. And of course, you're hearing that off the internet. Now, I shared that video first because I think the most important thing about the Quaife Limited Slip Differential is how well it handles when you're on turns or at the track or going. It's very good in that way. So I didn't really have a way to test that because there's no tracks open right now. The road I was on is just a regular road, and you kind of have to slow up for other cars, and you can't drive it as fast as the car really should be going to see how it's working out. So I just did these turning radius things, which is, I don't know, I didn't have a skid pad and I couldn't mark it out. It was bad enough the cops were watching everything I was doing in this parking lot. So basically my turning radius test was I had the car turned as hard as I could to one side and driving as fast as I could, and so that way I was sure that I had the same turning radius without having cones or going out there with paint and marking out the turns. It would be nice if this was the time of year when the tracks were open, but around here it's not. But anyway, here we go. I didn't want to bore you with the footage, but that went on for a very long time. I actually got dizzy from going around circles the whole time, and I actually went the other way as well. Didn't really change the times much. I know that's not really technical or anything, but it did show me how much better the limited slip does going around bends. You notice it doesn't squeal tire as much. You'll notice in the video a couple of times I had to correct before I had the limited slip differential because I was sliding out of the circle, and that was less of a problem here. But here you can notice that the times really went down from like 5.5 to 5.1. It's a huge difference. The big difference on the limited slip differential is the turning and the ability to keep accelerating while you're turning. Before, I'd always have to wait to make sure that the car was straight before I could do anything. But with the limited slip differential, I didn't have to worry about that. It was just amazing how well it allows you to keep up the acceleration, keep on the gas pedal when you're going around bends. It's the best part of the car for sure. And you can see that here because the turning circle, it's basically a 7.23% increase, and that is much, much better than the other tests that I had done as far as that goes. And the standard deviation, I don't show you the chart here, but it's over twice as good as well for this as well. It just makes you twice as much more consistent. Okay, so this is my final part. It has nothing to do with performance, but I think it deserves mentioning about the Quaife Limited Slip Differential. And that's the fact that it's not just performance driving, it will also help you in the wet or in the snow as well. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of snow around here this year. And the reason is I bought snow tires. If I didn't buy snow tires, it would have been pouring down snow like crazy. But I bought snow tires. I'm so prepared, and I can't do anything about it. Now you can see here, they cleared the center of the road, so one wheel is on the just wet and the other is in snow. And it's amazing how well the differential does in this condition. It just holds the car perfectly straight, even though there's two different types of traction on one tire compared to the other. It's just absolutely the best. Here I'm just flying and there's no problem at all, and there goes emergency crews off to somebody else who had an accident, but I'm just perfectly fine. One side snow and one side just wet. It's amazing. And finally, Stanley is going to give it the number of treats that he thinks it is right here. And there you have it. He gave it 6 treats. He could have gave it way much more. It actually went a long time before he finally dropped one. On my 2016 Focus ST, and but hopefully we provide. Way to go! Way to go! Gives you. Hi, how you doing? Well, if you made it this far in the video, God bless you. Having